Viewer discretion is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Hi, I'm JJW. And
What's wrong with you?
Coffee.
A lot of coffee. Hi, buddy.
This is rumble.com/JJW or Kicked. And you know, all of these other places don't even matter. Hey, look.
I don't know what any of that mess is.
Yeah. Rumble.com/JJW, where every morning at 6:30 in the morning during the week, Deacon and I meet, we drink coffee, we talk about news, media, politics, culture, pop culture, comic books, werewolves, and people.
We talked about werewolves in a while. It's not the werewolf season.
I know. I'm so looking forward to October. Come on, October.
We're getting closer, man. We were just I just read a story today. My kids have started back in band camp. Band camp has started up, so my kids have been going and getting stuff ready for school and whatnot. Yeah, they don't. Yeah. Kendra is like this and Alex is like this. So they're starting band camp. And I just read a story on my radio today where it was like, school starts up August the 8th. And I'm like, gosh, school starts up August the 8th, man. I'm going to be so busy. I mean, oh gosh, my life is about to turn up.
I'm a little worried about it too, because my wife was like, we were talking about it the other day, because my kid's about to start going to my oldest is going to go to this public school program that they have for Spanish, and she might be in kindergarten. They might put her in first grade. We don't know yet, because she's already done kindergarten once in a private school. And then my other daughter will be going to this other thing. But the public school, the classes start at 7:30. I don't know if you know what time the show ends. Yeah. Usually
7:35.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how I'm going to work that out.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out something new with the show. We might be later or earlier or 45 minute shorts or something, but something will change.
Yeah, right.
So hey, you got something special that I had no clue. Can we do this before we do anything else? Because I had no clue. I logged on and I'm like, what is this super nice surprise I see here?
Oh, you're talking about, yes. Hey, look, we have a guest today.
Hey. Up there.
Yeah, there he is. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the sinister minister himself.
Morning.
You know, I didn't expect our banner to go right over our faces. I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna take it off of your face. There we go.
That's all right.
Thanks, Restream. You guys make everything wonderful. So David's gonna be our guest today. We have a bunch of fascinating news to talk about. How do you feel?
No bad jokes. Yeah,
right. Okay,
nasty jokes.
Yeah. So every morning before we really go too far, Deke's going to tell us about music, right?
This is so odd. This is like fate today. Okay. I just want to say this is right. I did it. I did it just for you. Just for you. Okay. So, all right. JJ's going to get his food or his coffee. So this week I've been doing fish. And the other day, the Sinister Minister was like, hey, what about Reba? The song that you got. So I did an extra song today. I did two. So I did an extra song. So I did Reba from Lawn Boy, and you'll see it. Sinister Minister's pick. Bag it, tag it, sell it to the butcher in the store. And Reba was one of those songs that was introduced to me with fish in the 90s. And it was a weird because the lyrics to this song are really weird. They don't make any sense. You know, they're just nonsensical. In the water, tie a little to a tree. You know, it's just like a weird little, but it's a cool little song. And the song opens up into this musical painting that goes through the middle of the song that is just so beautiful. So this is a great one. So this is your extra pick today, and it comes straight from Sinister Minister. And this wasn't planned. I had no clue you were going to be on the show. So when I saw you, I was like, oh my gosh, I just got through typing that for Sinister Minister. My pick. So that was your extra song. So your Friday song is Llama. From A Picture of Nectar. It's a very short song, but it's about it's a kind of a nonsensical, fantastical song as well. He's got the llama carries a big cannon, and he's in the middle of the desert, and he's fighting in a war with the llama that carries the desert. So when he presses a button, leave it on press, depress, llama to boot is the chorus. And so at the end he goes to boot. So it's a really fast song. It displays some great keyboard playing from Paige McConnell from Fish. It's a great song. So Llama is your Fish song today. When did you get exposed to Fish? A long time ago, I'm guessing, with Reba.
Yeah, in the 90s, probably 90. I was probably a junior, so your senior year, 95-ish.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not a huge Fish guy. My son definitely is, but man, that song, it reminds me a lot of the way they do their lyrics, like Paul Simon. Like he would start off with a riff or a musical idea, and then he would just throw words and syllables in.
Just to make it kind of rhyme and whatnot. Yeah.
So, and the jazz-ishness of some of the stuff they pulled off. I was a huge Spin Doctors fan too about that time.
Oh yeah.
So it fit in my head for some reason.
There is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff like that with Fish songs that I like to think that some of the Fish songs that get pushed out to the public more are the jammy, hippie, play on for hours type Fish songs. And Fish has all different types. When you said that jazzy type of music, Reba is really very much a jazz piece. And a lot of their early pieces, you could like Fee from the very first album, Fee, that and You Enjoy Myself. Those are jazz pieces. If you look at them, jazz pieces with lyrics and stuff. So yeah, you're right. There's a really good album that you can find on YouTube. It's called Jazz Fish. I think it's one album, Jazz Fish. Okay. And it's really excellent. And then there's a couple of bluegrass Fish albums if you like that kind of stuff.
Dude, Kentucky, come on.
I know. Yeah, you do, of course. So there you go. Yeah, Fish. JJ, I'm trying to get JJ to like Fish more. I don't think I could ever get him to go to a Fish concert, but if I could get him to listen to a Fish song, I've
an album,
a whole album,
just a whole album,
a live cut of Run Like the Antelope. It's only 21 minutes long.
20.
Yeah.
It's only 21 minutes long. I'm giving you a shorter one.
That's the whole album, 21 minutes.
That's just one song. Dude, I got okay. So my brother complained to me one time. We went all the way to St. Louis, the other side of St. Louis, which is like an hour on the other side is the amphitheater. And we went all the way over there to see Incubus. And we used to go over there all the time, but we drove over to the amphitheater in St. Louis once to see Incubus. It's about a 4-hour drive. And we got over there and we saw the concert and whatnot. And we were going home and I was complaining because Incubus played like a little over an hour and 15 minutes or so, hour and 20 minutes. And I was complaining that they didn't play long enough. And I felt gypped. And my brother said something that opened up my mind, and I shut up after that because I never thought about this before. He was like, dude, you've been to like 18 Fish shows. You're ruined. You don't have a 4-hour every person don't put on a 3.5-hour concert like Fish does. They don't have an hour and a half long set 1, an hour and a half long set 2, and then play 4 freaking encores. Not every man does that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I guess you're right. I've been, because Fish puts on such long songs. All right, I'll shut up talking about music, JJ. I know you're bored.
I don't think you know. There. Okay, hey, you guys put on your rose-colored glasses and bandanas and everything.
We need to have a music podcast. Me and Sinister Minister could talk about some music.
Yeah, you guys do that.
You're invited too, Jay. To be the producer.
I can switch cameras for you.
You can add the booze.
The audio is right today.
Hey, good morning. Hey, our friend Richter's in chat. He's over in he's watching us on YouTube. So good morning. And I think Richter might also be Ozark. I don't know. I get confused about who's who over on Rumble. But on Rumble, they said that gay people wanted to have a summer of pride, but why can't we have an autumn of lycanthropy?
An autumn of lycanthropy sounds wonderful.
Don't you think Fish could make a song called Autumn of Lycanthropy?
Hey, let me can I share something with you real quick? Sinister Minister will love this. And since I know we've gotten kind of off the topic of music, but I want to go back real quick since you brought up lycanthropy. I wanted to bring this up. JJ, you might actually know this song as well. You know the song by Toto called Africa. God bless the rains down in Africa.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This was sent to me last week, and I loved it. Yes. All right, and I think I might have posted. I don't know if I posted this or not. So this guy is talking about this song. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. So why is the singer not with her now? This is my theory of Toto's Africa. In Toto's Africa, why is the speaker in Africa in the first place? Answer, he's hoping to find some long forgotten words or ancient melodies. Okay, so we can conclude that he is a student of the occult. All right. Why has the singer
after that secret dark knowledge? Okay,
listen, hang on. Why has the singer of Toto's Africa gone to Africa, leaving his love in order to hunt some obscure folklore? Well, he tells you in the song, I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing I've become. He's a werewolf.
Yeah.
He's a werewolf. Sense. Wild dogs cry out in the night as they grow restless, longing for some solitary company. Those aren't dogs. Why does he bless the rains down in Africa? Because cloud cover blocks the moon. Africa is about a lovesick werewolf seeking out ancient lore to find a cure for his unfortunate condition.
Yeah.
Now go listen to Toto's Africa and not think that it's about a werewolf in love.
That is amazing.
So there you go. I want to bring that up real quick. I figured you like
I need to make sure we have sound effects for the autumn of lycanthropy. I need to make sure we're prepped for howls and stuff.
Right there.
I initially heard the autumn of anthropy.
Oh.
Huh.
The autumn.
Lycanthropy sounds so much more fun.
Lycanthropy is better, yes.
I kind of want to segue to this other thing, but we're prepared for this. Like I had this other show. Maybe we'll touch back on this in a minute.
Okay.
Here we go.
I've messed JJ.
Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, today is July 14th, 2023, and today's episode title is not coming up. The Secret Service is baffled by criminal geniuses. Baffled, I say.
That's a great. Did you do that with AI? Because that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yesterday it was announced that the Secret Service at the White House were concluding their case on the cocaine found in the White House. And guys, you're not going to believe this. The Secret Service, they found no suspect. They have no suspects. Nobody's been charged.
You look like Scott Steiner. What is that baby powder?
I don't know what it is. It's not Coke, I'll tell you that much. Yeah. So
where have we gone?
The Secret Service was unable to crack this case, guys. They couldn't hunt down any suspects. And the White House is hoping that this entire ordeal blows over.
Well, in order for that to happen, JJ, we need something else to distract us. All right. We need something to happen. All right.
We
need
got
a
that.
submarine to explode and kill a bunch of billionaires. We need some billionaire to die on a mountain. We need somebody to release somebody gets sick off of something that they hadn't gotten sick in a long time. Something's got to happen to get our look over here. Look over here. Look at the dancing girl. Please pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
You guys don't sound shocked that the Secret Service was unable to identify any suspects.
I'm not a smart person, so they're smarter than me.
Well,
so maybe they've done an investigation and they couldn't figure out. Will you please wipe your face? It's driving me nuts.
I could be wrong. And I've been wrong several times. Just this morning, twice. I don't think that's the specific job of the Secret Service. Like,
right. I mean,
protecting the president, looking for counterfeit money crimes. That's what they were originally created for, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Turn it over to, I don't know, law enforcement agency that maybe does this. I'm sure there's some government organized law enforcement agency.
Okay. Can you imagine that the Secret Service or the White House would allow any other law enforcement agency to have jurisdiction over the White House premises, over the West Wing?
Well, if it's a federal, wouldn't they have jurisdiction?
Well,
I don't know. I'm
good point. Why has the FBI not been called in?
Well, what about the DEA?
What about the DEA? What about the DEA? Why hasn't the DEA been called?
We need the DEA.
Maybe
somebody found the quarterback of weed. Is what it is.
Know. Maybe that's not their lane. Maybe they're just after organization.
Maybe we get the ATF in there too. Couldn't the ATF help?
Sure.
It's because honestly, this is akin to you walking out to the driveway and you finding where your 17-year-old son always parks his car every freaking day in the driveway, and now he's gone to work, and you walk out there and there's a quarter bag of weed laying there right where he parks his car every day. This is akin to that. Hunter comes over to the White House. He leaves. He goes somewhere else and all of a sudden we find cocaine in the White House.
Yeah,
it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure out this. Okay,
I'm not gonna. I wouldn't
now,
Hunter.
Yeah, really. I mean, like probably like I'm gonna guess like maybe 35% of the people that work in the White House have been or are on drugs.
I would probably agree.
Maybe more.
I don't think the chef is, because that guy's built like a brick shit house, but everybody else probably. Have you seen the chef? That guy that was the chef, is he still the chef? Oh my God.
He was the chef for like
his arms are like this big.
Oh, seriously?
His biceps are like 70 inches.
I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah, no clue.
Dude, he's huge. He's like freaking what was that big actor's name?
Homeboy is massive.
Huge.
That guy's awesome. Andre Rush, celebrity chef and military veteran. Okay, cool. All right. So you guys are not impressed that they haven't sniffed out the culprit.
Did you get that? Sniff?
That's the fourth one. One.
There was blow. There was crack.
I don't listen to you that close.
I know. All right. Let's see. Well, I really thought this was going to be more, shocking and scintillating. Want
me to act more shocked for you?
Nah, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
There was another story. I almost changed. Deke, I got this show ready like at 11 o'clock yesterday. Like this whole title card, all of this stuff was like set up early yesterday so we wouldn't be late ish. And then after I got the show kind of like stuff set up, Joe Biden went and activated the military reserves. Did you hear about this?
Yep.
This son of a bee, this guy. So if you are not already aware, I think I have the order right here. I'm going to see what you guys think about this. Here is the executive order from the White House. Literally ordering the selected reserve and select members and certain members of individual ready reserve of the armed forces to active duty. Joe Biden is sending 3. Yeah, well, I don't know, 3,000 total, 3,000 members at any one time. So the media is acting like, oh, it's just 3,000 people. It's just 3,000 people. Not a big deal. And he's activating
that's at
some
any
reserves.
one time. That you see that phrase at any one time,
which means that he doesn't have to reissue another authority for them to just pull up another. He can just keep using the same one. Operation Atlantic Resolve.
That's been in the Marines and still does that, and he's been in there for many decades now, and he still does that crap all the time. This brings up a really good point that I brought up on the Discord server a couple of times with some articles that I've posted. And I had in the studio Wednesday for our little talk show that we do. Our guests were a couple of older gentlemen from our community that are part of the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. If folks don't know what the VFW is, those are Veterans of Foreign Wars, and this is our local post. And what our VFW guys do is when a veteran dies, they have they go out and do the honors, the military honors at the grave site with the 21 gun salute, and they put the boots and the stuff like that, and the gun and the dog tags, and they fold the flag and stuff. And it's so moving. They play taps. It's so moving. And these are veterans, older retired guys that do this out of the kindness of their heart. So they were in here. I just wanted to lift them up a little bit. I love those guys. They're awesome. But they were in here, and I asked them after the show because they were talking about recruitment and stuff. And I said, do you guys feel like they're trying to that the draft will be reinstated within the next decade? Because I just read a report the other day about how the numbers are way down. And the reason they're way down is because you've got these idiots in there, these men wearing makeup and dresses, walking around saying that they're women in military uniforms. And I'm sorry, you are on the cut. It's not 2050 yet. In 2050, that shit might be okay because I'll probably be close to death or dead anyway in 2050. All right. So that shit might be okay, but not right now. You're still on the edge of your change or whatever. Okay. If you're looking at it from a bigger standpoint, that's not going to fly. So you're going to get pushback. So what happens to our country's defense now that we don't have the numbers in the military that we did 20 years ago? Do we need the numbers in the military like we did 20 years ago since everything is now automated?
We got drones and
or do we need? Why are they doing this? It's almost like
20 years ago we were just after 9/11, and there hasn't been another like. There has to be a reason people are joining the military. There's definitely a reason people are not joining the military. I mean, you can make the argument of a softer society. I think that would be a really easy argument to make.
You make a scary statement there. That's a little scary. You're exactly right on there's not really a reason for people to join the military. Well, that scares me because I think our country has the ability to create a reason and has in the past.
Right. I mean, there's always going to be those who say, those in the government knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen and they let it happen to push America into World War II. But I don't know. And then you definitely got individuals arguing that 9/11 was allowed to happen.
Yep.
And so,
we can get into those discussions for a while, but it's that. Do you think that this trans inclusion stuff, specifically in the military, is by design so that we could either lower the numbers in order to accomplish another goal, whatever that goal is, X, or lower the numbers in order to reconstitute the draft in order to get the numbers up?
I would speculate, and I'm going to default to the positive. It's, hey, we're going to accept anybody in. I mean, I know in my lifetime, they've had a evaluation on their stance of tattoos, visible tattoos. Like you couldn't have any on your arms at all. I was 18. I didn't join the military. I had talked to, actually, I talked to a Navy recruiter, and I intended to join the Marines. I wanted to be in the Marine band. That was my goal. That was my dream, be in the Marine band.
Awesome.
I was a band geek. And then I was going to transfer into law enforcement and other things. But God said, nope, not happening. The laws have the regulations have just changed a lot to allow more people to come in. And now we have this almost perceived weakening of who's allowed in. So I don't want anything to do with it there.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's a good way. That's a good way for me to look at it. I've never looked at that, but I like those two words, perceived weakening. That's a good, I have those lenses on. I don't know why. It's not intentional. I don't look at that as an intentional weakening, but you're right. That for some reason I look at that as weak, and that's not necessarily weak.
Right.
Okay.
But you and I have never served. JJ has.
Right, exactly. And that's what I was going to get at. I kind of got the same story you do. When I was 18, I was with an Air Force recruiter. I had a spot at Omaha. I had an MP spot in Omaha waiting for me after I graduated. I was just waiting for a buddy of mine that was a year younger than me to get out of school, and we were going to go in together. So I was a year older than him. And I have a back deformity that I found about that time of my lower back. And I was having a lot of problems with it. And the Air Force recruiter was like, if your back acts up the way it is now during basic, you get an automatic medical discharge. They will automatically. So I had to weigh out if I wanted to go through all this for the more than likely I would get medically discharged or not. So, but I come from a very long line of military people in my family too. So that's why, and my sons are 15 and 16. My daughter's 18, because we were talking about that the other day. I was like, you should have to go sign up for selective service like all the boys do, blah, blah, blah. You know, everybody wants equal treatment and stuff nowadays. Why the hell aren't the girls signing up for selective service?
What? Man, if they want to continue to front the, they being people in societies, actors and stuff, that the narrative that men and women are not even biologically different, then I think people could really make a constitutional argument in a case against the selective service legislation that says only males. It says males are required
if we wanted to be smart about it, we would realize the strengths and weaknesses of both sexes and both genders and use those to our advantage. Women are biologically better at more things than men are, but men are biologically designed to be better at other things than most women. It's not a flat statement that is saying most,
Right. Men are designed to fight things. That's what we're made for. Fight things. Or throw things.
Like werewolves.
Yeah. All right. Yes, that's right. It's too early.
Did y'all hear that?
It's weird.
Freaking me out a little bit.
A little bit strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was David at first. I was like, that's a pretty good house, Sinister, man. That's nice.
All right. Okay. So Joe Biden is sending. Okay, let's go back to the story here. Joe Biden is activating 3,000 reservists to go to the European theater for Operation Atlantic Resolve. Operation Atlantic Resolve is the contingency mission on the edge of the Russian war. So Joe Biden. Now, the reason why he's activating 3,000 reservists and sending them over there is to relieve some active duty personnel that are over in the European theater. Because, there's only so long that you're allowed to churn a deployment of active duty troops before you need to rotate them in and out. So this doesn't mean that look, 3,000, that is not us amping up for, like deployment directly into the battlefield. What it is it's relieving troops that are there so that they can, come home, temporary, whatever, and then they'll get redeployed again. But you guys were touching on that the topic of recruitment. Is recruitment so low? Are the numbers in the military so low that they can't fill this mission from active duty personnel? Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like. And this administration, from a certain perspective, has spent a substantial part of the last 3 years weeding out members of the military that hold a different ideological bent. Okay. And by that, I mean, they used the vaccination requirements, and some people said, hey, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be part of that. And when soldiers in the military and Navy, Air Force, whatever, declined to take part of the vaccine, they were removed from service. They were fired early. And in fact, we know, I don't know if our guy Brian is here or not, but I think he refused to get vaccine. So the people that remained in the military are the ones that, the ones that remained in the military are the ones that obeyed the requirement, right? So it's the people that submitted to, honestly, these whims of the government to deploy an experimental vaccine on members of the military. So they have the Biden administration has flushed a certain demographic of the military out of the military, and now recruitment levels are very low. So to fulfill this mission that none of us voted for, by the way, to continue to fulfill this mission to support the war against Russia, they're activating troops. What is next? What's next? What will they do after? If they will do this, what will they do next? Will they do more reserve activations? Yeah, possibly. How far away from the draft is it? People are always concerned about the draft. I think we're quite a ways away from any sort of draft, but how far away from the draft are we?
I don't think we are if we keep pissing off Russia.
Russia kind of looks, at least from where I'm sitting, it looks like it's starting to implode on itself.
You're right.
I don't think we have to worry about the Russia thing as much as I'm more concerned about some of the antics in, I don't know, North Korea, China. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, we talked about North Korea yesterday. They fired.
I listened after the fact.
Oh yeah. I don't know. China is definitely an actual concern.
Mm-hmm. And
it would probably be good.
I'm concerned for retaliation from Russia is what is lingering in the back of my mind. I'm just, something's going, I just await every day for something's going to happen. And it's going to be like, this is because y'all been helping Ukraine under the table.
That could very well happen. But the thing that I'm more concerned with is, let's say Putin's gone. I mean, he's not well. Let's say he's gone. What replaces him? Not who, but what replaces him. I mean, we don't know what.
He spent the last 30 years being president in some capacity or another, right?
Yeah, and he's trained somebody who's really hungry, I am sure. Or if not directly trained, he inspired somebody who's hungry to have what he has and more. Somebody just slightly more unhinged.
So Putin is a disciple of the KGB, a former agent, and has spent the last 20 or 30 years since the dissolution of the Soviet Union attempting to, prop up and solidify Russia, the new Russia, but in many ways has tried to bring back some of the, I guess, his 70s favorite parts of the KGB. And
it's almost looking back on it now, and with 2020 vision, it was almost like kind of what Constantine did. He was like, "Oh, we need to embrace. The public is liking this, so we need to embrace this. So let's embrace this, but slowly kind of change their outlook. We'll take the next 20 or 30 years and stay in power, but we'll slowly change it, kind of like what's happened in America too. We have the illusion of free will over here and choice in America, but we really don't. We have it at a local level.
Not as much as we think we do.
Yeah, not as much as we think we do.
But here's my question about Putin in particular. So Putin spent his entire life and career in Soviet Russia, and then in KGB, and then basically holding on to it as Russia changed.
Mhm.
The next guy will have spent his life in something else. He will have spent his life in this period.
Mhm.
Is he going to want to more strongly go back to the old glories of Russia, whatever that means, or will he be more democratic, more willing to crack down on crime and oligarchs and things like that? And we don't have any idea. And let me just say, that's a whole other country, and I don't care what Russia does. I don't care about Russia. I don't care about Ukraine. Right. I don't want to be over there. I don't want our boys going over there. I don't want these kids getting activated to go support some war that I don't support. Mm-mm. So, it's not pro Putin or pro Russia to be like, I don't care what Russia does. Leave me out of it. So,
how tall are you, Sinister?
My license says I'm 5'9".
Okay. All right.
Oh, really?
Okay. So
my license says that.
So we all know probably someone and friends with a guy that is 5'2" or 5'3", 5'4", a shorter guy, right?
Okay.
Nick, can we all agree that little man syndrome is a real thing? That's completely real. Do you know a guy with little man syndrome that thinks that he is just this everything and he can take on the whole world and he is this tall, and you don't want to mess with the little guy? Okay. So I read a theory one time that it was about how much of the world's history that we know of has been changed because of little man's syndrome. And Putin has little man's syndrome, and Napoleon had little man's syndrome. And this affects the way that people act. And it was just using the little man syndrome on
I didn't think Napoleon was actually short.
I thought he was.
No, I don't think he is. I'm gonna have to.
You might be right. I might be getting that. But it was a while ago that I read this thing, but it was talking about how little man syndrome has changed. It listed some other people throughout history, and I can't remember them all.
So Napoleon was 5'6", which is just a little above average for a French man
at the time.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah. But I don't know.
Have you seen some of the stuff that Putin does, like for pictures, and how he wears some of the shoes and stuff that they've pointed out, and what he does for his height? Oh yeah, it's interesting.
Does he wear lifts?
He's got lifts in his shoes. He always makes sure and puts positions people around him so that it makes him look taller and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting how Putin he's worried about his height so much.
I saw I thought you were going to talk about Zelensky. I saw a photo yesterday of Zelensky at this NATO conference. There was this NATO conference just a few days ago, and our president said to Vladimir, he said, he said some gobbledygook stuff, but he said basically, we're not going anywhere, as in the United States is going to support you no matter what. To which I said, hey, man, nobody voted for this. We don't want it. I mean, I guess the Congress keeps sending money. So, but I saw a photo from everybody there, and Zelensky went on this tirade about, y'all need to give me some more guns and bombs and stuff, because he just wants because he's fighting this war. And there was all these people in this NATO image, and it was like a gala type thing or whatever. And then there's Zelensky, and he looked just like a little dude, and he was in the front, and he looked like a little dude.
I had no clue. I just Googled. He's 5'7".
Yeah.
Putin's 5'7".
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is 5'7".
Yeah, Tom Cruise. Man, I can't wait to see Dead Reckoning. This movie's so exciting.
Taller than 5'7".
Me too, JJ. Me too.
So excited about it. I want to see Tom Cruise ride a motorcycle off a mountain and fly.
It's like Rob Liefeld said about Top Gun. This is going to be the greatest movie in the
saved Hollywood.
This is going to save the writer's strike, the actor's strike, the gaffer's strike, the best boy strike, whatever strikes are going on right now. It's going to save all of them. All those people are going to save their jobs because of Tom the Savior Cruise.
Yeah.
It was the Star Wars trench run all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I can't wait to watch this movie.
I mean, you know, we're really coming into an era where we may need Tom Cruise to save Hollywood because, you know, they're all on strike. Pretty soon, there's going to be absolutely zero product coming out of Hollywood. There's going to be nothing. Nothing's being written. Nothing's going to be filmed. It's going to be amazing. We'll have to find some other entertainment. Maybe a fantastic show on YouTube or Rumble.
No, because it wanted Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise should go. Why isn't he running for office? I mean, we had Arnold Schwarzenegger as the governor of California, and I think we're ready for Tom Cruise as the president of the United States.
I don't know if the Scientology has a book on it has training material for how to be president, though.
Well, by God, if they haven't, then we can get old science fiction guy to write it. He's a writer.
L. Ron Hubbard, his ghost. Get the ghost of L. Ron Hubbard to write some training material.
Not dead. He's on the planet Marcus 4.
He's already
smokes
he's
cigarettes
at
day.
like OT level 12 or something like that. He may not be able to deal with typing on a computer. You know what I mean?
If you've never watched that Leah Remini documentary, it is wonderful. It's really good. It opens up.
I lived in Pinellas County, which is where the world headquarters is. I know people that were in and out of the headquarters. I knew some Scientologists. He still has a pack of cigarettes put on his desk every day. And then by the end of the day, they're gone.
Oh, wow. Operating heat. Yeah. So he's
somebody
like
comes in, I'm sure.
The highest level operating Thetan, but he's still addicted to cigarettes. That's interesting. It just says no matter how good you do in life, there's always something for you to conquer.
That's right.
So it's kind of an inspiring story. Really.
He's still teaching lessons after his death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't want to make fun of the Scientologists, man.
Please don't sue me.
I would rather show a cartoon of Muhammad on the show than to make fun of the Scientologists.
Nope. Not going to touch you.
They will only. Yeah. All right. Geez. Let's see. There's a few different things. Deke, it's been a minute since we talked about you were talking about that song Africa earlier today, earlier in the show, about how the character in that song is probably a werewolf.
Right.
And fled to another country, went to Africa, you know.
Yeah.
He's not the only person fleeing to another country.
It's a bad,
not at all.
Crazy
No. And that werewolf is not the only person doing that.
Yeah.
That might be something you have to do. Yeah. It turns out that Dylan Mulvaney has now fled, I believe, to Brazil. Dylan Mulvaney claims he's no longer feels safe in America, and he flees to a country where transsexuals are regularly lynched. So, is it possible that Bud Light inadvertently, they knew they were getting into business with Dylan Mulvaney, 365 Days a Girl. Did they maybe not know that he might be like a were person? You know what I mean? Maybe they didn't know that.
What? They what?
They thought they were only dealing with a man, thought he was a woman. Didn't realize that he might be cursed.
Oh my God. I'm going to slap you. I don't know what you're trying to make, what joke you're trying to make here. I'm not catching.
Dylan's in Brazil fleeing from in fear of violence from America, rejecting his Bud Light ad.
I don't care.
I didn't know if you knew that.
No.
You don't care about Dylan Mulvaney?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Or Bud Light. I don't care.
Or Bud Light.
You don't care about Bud Light or Dylan Mulvaney?
I don't care about trans people. He, it can go wherever it wants to. I don't care. It doesn't want to live here. Go there.
I just wanted to give it a little update on
more
that.
coffee.
Bud Light has lost something like $27 billion.
I used to drink
top 10.
I used to drink just Budweiser. Bud Light tastes like water to me. Budweiser, I got used to drinking because if I was going to a concert and paying that much for a beer, I was at least going to get the most out of the beer that I was going to pay for. And then I've got diabetes and I don't drink that much anymore.
Right.
I might have one drink. I might have 2 drinks a year is how much I drink. So I never was an alcoholic.
Okay.
I've been drunk like 3 times in my life. I know a lot of people are, and I see that stuff all around. And I know that that's a big part of society, is being able to drink and have fun and socialize with a drink, with alcohol. And it's a huge part of our society, but it's a part of our society that I don't.
It's not only
like
don't, it's really, really dangerous for you.
Yeah, I don't take part in that. So I miss a, huh?
It's dangerous for a lot of people.
It's dangerous for a lot of people. Yeah,
you're
right.
It is.
I mean, I am not a teetotaler, but what do you think would happen to crime if there were no controlled substances? I mean, no controlled substances.
You mean all. No controls or no substances? As in, no
restrictions, no limits. If they didn't exist, what would happen to crime?
Oh, people get upset and frustrated.
I think in the
one way that they.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm not saying I'm for this, but I'm just asking the question: what would happen to crime if there were no? I think
in the immortal words of Jeff Goldblum, life will find a way.
I am not doing this. Do you hear this? I am not doing this. Stop. I didn't push that. Stop.
I can hear some chirping, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think if there wasn't any drugs or anything, people would have developed it. It would be like a weird Star Trek episode where they landed on a planet that was a clone of Earth, but they didn't have drugs. But they fought over, yo-yos or something stupid, something for entertainment value.
I mean,
like bubble gum. That's what people
live every day in stress and conflict or whatever, and some people will take their frustrations out and try to relax themselves by drinking. Some people go way, way, way too far, and then other people go the other way to relieve their instead of latching onto vices to relieve their stress. They do violent things.
So when I was in high school, I was asked in one of my humanities class, imagine a world where God didn't exist. And what do you picture? And all the students were answering everything. And the teacher called on me and she didn't like me. I didn't really like her. And I said nothingness, because for me, without God, there's nothing. And she would not accept that answer at all. And so I'm posing the same style question. And I realized that it's not possible to just answer. And I'm not saying I'm against alcohol. I got some issues with drugs, but yeah, it's just I don't know.
I don't know.
I've worked with law enforcement a few times.
I think that we would just replace. Look, we would replace we humans if whatever substances are abused now were removed, were eliminated from reality. I think humans would just find another substitute.
You're right. Humans will find something to abuse. That's right. You have said it right there. Sugar is a drug that we as a human being say this is okay because we all like it and it's fine and it doesn't have as harmful effects on the surface as these other ones. Okay. Right. So we're okay with this drug. Over the years, we found that this drug is very harmful when taken in excess, very harmful to the point that it kills you. That it completely will just completely kill you and rot your body from the inside. But we don't care as a society because we have accepted this as normal. It's the same thing with alcohol. We've accepted alcohol. That's fine. We know that it's basically poisoning your body and your liver is having to please. And that's why people, I think if we didn't have these substances, mankind would still abuse other things because we in this country started prescribing medicines that helped people and people abused them and now they're hooked on them. And my mom died because of it. And I always used to say this to some of our legislators here in Kentucky because marijuana is still not legal in most aspects in Kentucky. And I used to tell them, I used to take my mom to this legal pain management center with legal doctors with medical degrees that gave her these drugs that killed her. Then they didn't see her. They didn't do a checkup on her. They wheeled her ass in there. They checked her on a check mark and they wheeled her ass out. I took her to these appointments. She wasn't in there for 3 minutes. All right. And she died because of that. And she used to ask me all the time. She would say, Andrew, if you could just get me some marijuana. If she had access to marijuana, she wouldn't have been on them damn painkillers that killed her, that gave her a heart attack. And she would have been some high old 70-year-old woman sitting over in her apartment who's high and loves her fucking grandkids is all that it would have been. And why? I mean, so, but we've got people that abuse this crap and we've completely outlawed, it's human.
So yeah, I guess
to abuse stuff.
And not only that, but we have people in society that have made the transaction of, it's so important to us to, as a society, prevent people that would harm themselves from harming themselves, that we've given all this power to government, and the government says, we're not going to let anybody do anything, and as a result of that, people who need to medicate themselves cannot on their own.
Yeah.
When they're, so
yeah, and they can't afford to live. My uncle who has passed was on some of those big painkillers as well, because he was in the Army. He had some lingering issues and he had pain as an older person. And he was on a lot of those real heavy painkillers, but he was so broke all the time that he was forced to sell those painkillers to undesirable people and he got busted one time, ended up having to go to jail, all this 60, 70-year-old guy for selling some of his own medication that wasn't in, all because of this system that we have in this country.
Right.
He got failed. My uncle was one they failed him. It's just, I know it was just, we went off on a tangent, but that question, what if the drugs didn't exist? I
there would be others. Yeah.
Humans are,
there would be something else. Because we can't contemplate the void. We can't contemplate life without God or with God because we are afraid to even look at that light. When we are living in frustrations, living in stresses, we as species tend to be unable to redirect those stresses into positive ways. Instead, very often we have to redirect those stresses into something that just distracts us temporarily. Get distracted.
Coffee. He's showing coffee and his vape, his drugs.
Yeah.
These are my 2 drugs that I take in front of y'all every morning.
Coffee's not a drug.
Caffeine is though.
Coffee is provided to us by God so that we can get.
Oh my God! So is marijuana.
I firmly believe.
I'll give you that. If you give me this.
I firmly believe within the next 10 years that marijuana will no longer be a federal offense, and I think several states will be lining up to grow stuff.
I mean, what's the difference between a federal offense and a federal offense that isn't enforced ever?
It's enforced
when states don't. When states
it's enforced with federal employees.
Right. Yeah.
Unless there are no cameras that can see.
Maybe we can just have less federal employees.
If Kentucky would realize how much money could be made on our soil in Kentucky growing marijuana, not hemp, but marijuana. And if they realize that our teachers that are having this huge budget thing that's been going on for 30 years in our country or our state, and all these roads that need help and all, it would completely take care of it if they would just do what Colorado did. I'm not saying be hippie like Colorado, but just legalize it recreationally so that the people that want to smoke can go get it. The people that don't want to smoke can't go get it. Do you know what we do here now? You probably don't do this, Sinister, because you're in Central Kentucky. You know what I used to be a pothead, 20 plus year pothead, everyday smoker. I don't do it anymore. This is CBD. that I buy legally at the store. It has like 0.03% THC.
Deacon has back pain issues that
I have a back. I have the
I've had
opposite of
2 back
scoliosis.
surgeries, so
Yes, I have lumbar lordosis, and it affects me greatly. I have back issues all the time. And so, you know what all my pothead buddies do? Illinois is like 15 minutes away. Illinois is 15 minutes away. They pay an extra $20. It's like 20 something dollars tax, you know, being out of state.
Yeah.
So they're giving Illinois all the money.
I honestly think that Kentucky should decide, and the federal government should not.
Back in the day, Kentucky was known as
moonshine state.
Y'all got the moonshine and the good green. The good green come from Kentucky. And them backwood hillbilly boys.
All right, guys. I don't know how we're going to segue from.
It was a good discussion, though.
It's up in smoke.
Yeah, it's up in smoke. Here, you want me to?
Deke, I have been. Sinister, are you a fan of Star Wars?
Which era of Star? So I had a discussion with a buddy of mine.
Isn't it all the same?
I have a buddy of mine who's just maybe 10 years younger than me, 15 years younger than me. He said he's never watched a single Star Wars movie. And he said his joy is he gets to watch them for the very first time like I did. And I said, no, you don't.
No.
You will never get to watch them like I did because unless you buy them bootleg off eBay, the original versions no longer exist. So.
And you don't get to experience them like we did with the anticipation and whatnot of the movies, because my son Deacon was like, do I need to watch them 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3? And I said, no, do not do that. And he was like, well, everybody says, you know, and even JJ, look at him, dude, he's not me. And it's not 1980. All right. We were forced to watch the Luke Skywalker story, and then we were forced to watch the Anakin Skywalker story, and then we're forced to watch the Rey Skywalker story. All right, Rey not Skywalker story. I don't want him to watch it that way. I want him to watch the Star Wars story. I don't want him to be like, wait a minute, when you go, no. Watch it from the beginning and then watch it to the end. You have that ability that I didn't. I didn't get to see the full story as it was intended to be. You're muted, JJ.
Sorry, I'll give you this. If you watch it that way, Star Wars gets better as you go. Until you until you get to the Disney side, and then it's not good. If you watch it in the original order, 4, 5, 6, you'll be like, this is good. Oh my God, this is great. Okay, this is still good, but I don't like the Ewoks. And then you go, oh, and I got 3 more. I'm gonna go back and watch it, and then be like,
Empire Strikes Back's blue, dude. That second movie.
You are wrong.
Oh,
you are wrong.
There was like 2 good parts in that whole movie.
Empire Strikes Back is the
fall
best.
asleep
as a child seeing that in the theater.
So wrong.
It's there. It's like.
No,
that and E.T. were my first 2 like major movie
experiences. When Luke goes to Dagobah, you might as well just give me a pillow because I'm fixing to go to sleep. It's the most boring crap ever.
He's got a train. He's the only person in Star Wars that did homework.
Hey man, if he wanted to train, they should have done a montage and put like "You're the Best Around" by Joe Esposito behind it, and I would have watched that. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever take you down. I would have.
All right, guys. So Deacon and I have been.
I didn't watch the trailer just for you.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. Nope. So we are all gonna watch the Ahsoka trailer now. I think we're all agreed that the original Star Wars, George Lucas Star Wars, so 4, 5, 6, big fans growing up when we were all children. And then we have some varying opinions of the prequels from the early 2000s. Fair. Some of them, there's some good parts. There's some like Jar Jar parts or whatever. and then Sinister, I don't know your opinion about the Disney era. I personally was very excited when J.J. Abrams brought back the Force Awakens, and I was like, hey, that movie was pretty good. It was basically A New Hope. They just changed the cast.
Was very good.
And then there was the one by Ryan Johnson, and that was not good.
You know me, I'm not a hater just to hate because everybody else hates it.
Sure.
I liked Jar Jar Binks. I thought he played a vital role in the story. I liked these stories, these other ones. Did they have flaws? Absolutely. Did they have some major flaws? Absolutely. They had some major flaws that they could go back and retcon. It's a good story, but they left out some key storytelling plot points.
Well, the problem with the new movies, the 3 new movies, is that 1 and 3 were directed by J.J. Abrams, and the middle one was directed by somebody else, and they were unable to tell a story. It was 3 different stories stitched together. So there was, come here, sweetie. Ugh. So there was 3 different stories, and if it had all been by J.J. Abrams, probably the people would have had a lot different opinion. But we had this kind of like zig thing. And so there's a little bit of animosity towards Disney. Okay.
No, you're good.
And then we have all the Disney Plus Star Wars. So here we go with Ahsoka.
War is inevitable. One must destroy in order to.
You guys hear that pretty good? I'm gonna turn it up.
We are no Jedi.
I think that's Ray Stevenson.
I started hearing whispers of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one. You and I both know who could help you with this.
That's Hera.
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
Purple hair girl.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine. You never made things easy for me.
I love Sabine.
Master.
As a Jedi, sometimes you have to make the decision no one else can. But I'm counting on you to see this through.
Nice haircut. Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our personal feelings.
Buckle up.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything will be in vain. You have no power.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to discuss my past.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Those are old ass droids.
Yeah.
Those are like they've been around for long.
All right.
You really need to watch. You really need to watch the Clone Wars, and you really need to watch Rebels, because Sabine and Hera and all they're all that
was the red haired chick on the speeder, was that supposed to be Mara?
That's Sabine from Rebels, the one that wears the.
I never watched it.
Okay, it's great.
Everybody tells me I need to watch it.
I mean, they are so good.
I have enough audio video crack in my life as it is.
I know, but this Star Wars Rebels is really one. Clone Wars, I know, is a long way, and that's the Ahsoka story. But you will get Thrawn. This will make a lot. This series looks like it'll make a lot more sense if you'll watch the couple of seasons of Rebels. And Rebels,
I know from Heir to the Empire. I love that book series.
Yeah. And
Thrawn
is in this Rebels series.
You mentioned the end of Mandalorian. I still have 2 more episodes to go.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and
the Thrawn. Okay, so when I was 17, 18 or whatever, I read all 3 of the the Timothy Zahn books. And Thrawn was a amazing character. And I think they've done him on the cartoon. And I'm a little bit like nervous about this. I'm trying to find a still of there he is right there.
No,
I'm a little bit nervous about this.
No, that's in the cartoon, he is scary. Mm-hmm. He's very intimidating in the cartoon, just as he was in the books, just as he was portrayed in your past mind, in your mind's eye. He is that way in the cartoons because he comes in as not Grand Admiral Thrawn. He comes in as like whoever, and they're still very intimidated by him.
Okay. I will say that you got Ray Stevenson's voice. Ray Stevenson, I think he just died. So like that is not good. I mean, it's very sad that we've lost him because he played so many riveting characters. But that voice of whoever he's playing, I was like, oh, I'm in. I'll buy a ticket right now.
He did in May.
What?
Yeah, he recently died. Yeah.
Where was I at?
Yeah, you guys. I'm sorry, I thought you guys knew. Let me break that to you.
No.
Sorry about that.
What?
Yeah. Ray Stevenson passed about a month ago, 2 months ago. But it looks like this might be one of the final performances that we see. Will be him as this adversary in.
It says no cause of death has been revealed, but he was reportedly hospitalized while on set filming Casino in Italy. And he was like, well, he died. Okay.
No clue.
That's weird. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, geez, sorry. Yeah, but his voice, I mean, like, amazing.
Yeah.
No, let's say several other credits following this thing. He played Gar Saxon on the Clone Wars TV show. And on Rebels. So is that character Gar Saxon? Do you think that's the character he's playing here in the it is Ray Stevenson, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. Gar Saxon, Gar Saxon. That's not the same one. Gar Saxon was a Mandalorian in the Mandalorian army.
He's playing Balin Skull.
Yeah, this guy looks like an Inquisitor. They look like Inquisitors that are coming to chase down Ahsoka or whatnot. There were several Inquisitors that Vader employed during this time period.
I would speculate that it's not an Inquisitor. It's somebody that maybe Palpatine has been training on the side because we know he had more than one disciple.
Very true. That's very true. Sabine is not a Jedi. She's not even a Mandalorian. She wears that Mandalorian armor. I don't think she's a Mandalorian, but she wears that Mandalorian armor, and she became very skillful with a blade. So she can use a lightsaber, and I don't remember if she used the dark saber or not. It's been so long since I watched that.
I'll have to watch.
So
it's good. It is. Yeah, we're going.
This is going to be. Yeah, we got to go. So this is going to be like nostalgia bait for a lot of the people that grew up in the 2000s that watched Rebels and the Clone Wars cartoons and stuff like that. Because they may actually spin this into another show with these.
In that last Star Wars TV series that came out on Disney, I can't remember what it was. It had what's his name, Zeb from Rebels. That big, I can't remember what.
Oh yeah, the little cowboy guy.
Yeah.
Isn't it the cowboy?
Oh, Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, but it also had Zeb. He's a.
It was Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
Yeah, the Boba Fett. Or I don't remember. Anyway, he was on Rebels too.
All
right,
guys. We'll see. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, sir. I'm sorry we did not get to the FBI's Taylor Swift album, but maybe next time we'll be able to talk about some of that stuff. And if you guys haven't already, please hit like, subscribe. We gotta go. I'll see you later.
I got a joke.
Let's do jokes.
Let's do our jokes. I got a joke especially for Sinister Minister. What do you call someone who only believes in 12.5% of the Bible? An eighth.
That's a good joke.
Theist. An eighth theist.
Oh, that's good.
So I almost dated a psychic girl in high school.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she dumped me before we met though.
No. All right, guys. Well, I I really can't blame people for being afraid of things. I have some phobias too, and I'm trying to work through them. For instance, I'm terrified of elevators. You know, they can close on you. They can catch you halfway. You have seen all that terrible stuff. I'm a little bit scared of elevators, so I'm now taking some steps to avoid them. So that's all we got this week. We'll be back next week, 6:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday. Rumble.com/James.